Second book of Thessalonians 2:11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be.
When we finally discover what God has us to do, what that role or purpose or assignment is, we will learn that we have to learn how to do it against all odds. We will have to learn how to do it with only Him to rely upon. We will learn that God is your only true source. Not a resource, but a source. The only one that you could truly have your faith in, your trust, your strength, your confidence, your self-esteem. Everything else, it will betray you, give up on you, laugh at you, walk away from you, doubt you.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
When somebody sees that you have the courage, a stable foundation, and the inner being, the depth of the self, not placing your self-esteem on other people's opinions, insecurities or fears behind your words and your behaviors. It shakes and rumbles the foundation of those standing in falsehood. They can't take it. When they see you shining in the light of authenticity, as when we all are authentic, it comes with light. A light that nothing and no one can take away. It intimidates those who refuse to honor their light. And their insecurities will make you want to hush that person, quiet that person. They're scared. They don't want to be associated with you or around you. They don't want anybody to know that they follow you, listen to you, that they really fuck with you. They don't want nobody to know. It's a secret. We all will be surprised at how many people cannot find their way outside of the voices of the public opinion in the comment sections. The comment sections. Not knowing where to go or how to get there without them. Being real is a battlefield. It's a constant war. Being fake, inauthentic, it comes with many kickbacks. You get security, but it costs your freedom. But for those authentic, they get the freedom, but it costs them security. So be it. We usually don't have both at the same time. That's the trade-off. Security and freedom. You want more freedom, it will cost you more of your security. You want more security, it will cost you more of your freedom. We can't make up our mind. Pioneership is what's calling us. So what's this going to cost? Security. Because a pioneer seeks out greater expressions and territories to demonstrate their freedom. And that costs security. Walking the vulnerable and unpredictable lands and layers, not knowing what's around the corner, not knowing what will be or what will become, but trusting the source, the vision, the instinct, the intuition, the clairvoyance, the invisible forces that are with us. Neptune, I think I would underestimate to say that it could be many of you are not giving fair estimation to what's ahead and what it really looks like. No guts, no glory is what it really looks like. Tomorrow is not for the weak. This timeline will not honor the weak. The timeline ahead will not honor the fake, the phony, the inauthentic. It's time to get real. Get as real as you can. Get as real as you can. Where's your heart at? What does it say to you? Have you learned how to tune into it? Check in and do as it says. Have you found your compass? Your true moral compass? Have you also found the obedience that goes with it? Through your intuition, your instincts, or the refined and calibrated through the amygdala, Pallas Athena passing through Scorpio, Scorpio concentration, checking all systems. Are you ready? They will call you crazy. They will call you insane. No guts, no glory.
So, what I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie.
Aries Pisces transit. According to the way that we're getting prepared, with the emphasis on Scorpio. Emphasis on Scorpio. Emphasis on clearing out the 12th house. Subconscious material and activity. The purging of the source of our creation. What it looks like to be authentic is not so simple as relating it to authenticity as you've been used to. To be authentic, it has to begin with Aries. It has to begin with Aries because Aries is the warrior. It is the fighter. You will not embody, exemplify, or represent authenticity without opposition, without rejection, without even hatred. When someone who is authentic stands next to or is in the midst of those who are not authentic, they become the target. You become public enemy. You become the outcast. You become the one that everybody points the finger at. And why is that? Because as Scarface said, they don't have the guts to be who they want to be. but you do. And it kills them inside that they can't find that courage. It kills them inside that the cowardice gives them a very slow death every miserable moment of the waking life. And as you are being your authentic self, the only conclusion that they can come to is you've gone mad. You are crazy. Something is wrong with you. That's absurd. Who would say that? Who would do that? That makes no sense. If you underestimated what it means to stand and live out the Aries Neptune impulse, I'm here to tell you, you might want to give it more thought. What begins in Aries, it begins with a fight. It begins with war. This is a spiritual war. And what is a spiritual war has to do with defending the fortress within, the battleground within, because the opposition is surely, most certainly, going to come from around you. Those who stand right across from you. If you don't get pushback, if you don't face rejection, disagreement, people questioning you, judging you, criticizing you, you have not lived a moment of authenticity in your life. If you think everybody's your friend, the popularity contests, agreeable climate surrounding you, you are still stuck in that Libra South Node context of consciousness. And you have to find your way out. And that's through karmic cycles. Our authenticity is going to require our bravery and our courage. This is to be a pioneer. And the pioneer has a vision that someone else might not be able to see, a vision that others may not agree to or understand. They don't get it, no matter how many times you explain it or try to make them understand. You have to be willing to look crazy. You have to be willing to sound crazy, to be called weird or strange. You have to be able to withstand that rejection and alienation from the in crowds, from the groups of agreement, of public agreement and public opinion. Prepare yourself to go your own way. This is starting an age, an era, where new pathways will be initiated. New waves of thought will be freed up. And new levels of freedom will be lived out. And those levels of freedom, they do not come at a free price. You don't just walk into freedom. There's sacrifice for that. There's a cost for that. And it's very ugly. Are we conditioned yet within to withstand what's coming? Aries Chiron transit, it was preparing us, it was conditioning us to be able to withstand those storms of rejection, disappointment, disagreement, and the accusations that are on the way. How do we know we're going the right direction? When you start losing all of your friends, you lose all the people who once said they were with you. How do you know you're going the right way? When they say you have gone mad, you are crazy, you make no sense, that's ridiculous, that's stupid, of course it won't work. That's how you know. That's how you know. They want to use you, the one who's focused, the one who does have a vision, the real visionaries. They want you to be the pawn, not the king. And they come together, they work together to soothe their insecurities because they see you walk with the crown. You figured it out. One of the few. They want you to get a little more quiet. Don't be so loud. Don't disturb the peace. Don't wake up the sleeping. You might wake somebody up. Don't make too much noise. So they come together to work against you, to see if they can get you closer to silence and inactivity, to rethink yourself, to doubt yourself, to go another way, another direction. Authenticity is not easy. It is not for the weak. It is only for the strong. It is for the bold, the most bold, the vigilant, the relentless. And this is why, through the algorithm of Ogun, the god of war, the god of iron, Aries is how you begin authenticity. Our first house has to become a place of witnessing in our life. It has to become a walking testimony, a story of how to prevail, how to triumph, how to find victory, how to find success and balance against all odds and opposition. This is what is coming. War is up ahead. And it's not the time to be in doubt. It's not the time to be in hesitation. A spiritual war is ahead. You will either join the sheep and walk with the crowd in agreement in the false sense of security, bowing to what the Jewish puppet masters and the African American females would wish or want or prefer you to be or do, tiptoeing around their desires and wishes, or you will follow your own way, seeing that God put you here and gave you an assignment, and you are authorized to bring it into existence, regardless of who approves it or not. Your approval has to come from yourself. The authority has to come from heaven. The conviction has to ferment in you through your faith. And this will be loaned to us through Neptune. We need to know where we're at and what we're supposed to be doing. And all of what I'm explaining, this clarifies it. A sober mind walks us into war. Number 9, at the South Node. Incoming opposition. Because as you get a flash of the reality of what you are to be, who you are to be, or what you are to accomplish, as you get a flash of that reality, that calling, the revelation of what God is calling you to do here in the earth, so likewise the enemies will rise right along with the revelation. It comes as a pair. Where there is revelation of your direction and your mission, there also is the rising of the enemies who will oppose that mission and who will oppose the light, the illumination of that revelation, tempting you to fall asleep, tempting you to run away, tempting you to betray yourself in your mission, your own wisdom, your purpose, your calling, your destiny. Don't flinch. Look behind you. You've been prepared for this time. You've been conditioned for this time. And the focus should be keen and sharp.
Me, I don't have that problem. Me, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie.
Don't fall for the illusions of other people's fears projected onto you and their discomforts projected onto you. There are plenty who pat their pillow and they want to stay in that good, sweet spot where the sleep is good. They want you to close the shade so that the light does not come in, to disturb the sleep. They want the rooster, who is the witness to the end of the night and the breaking of the day, where the day finds triumph and victory over the long night. They don't want that rooster to announce that hour, because that hour is where we must stand and prepare to walk into that light and to do what duties are required to honor it, to reverence it, to respect it, to make it worth what it was worth in value, not to neglect the assignment. You have to be careful of what you listen to and be careful of what you respect of what comes out of other people's mouths and voices, bringing you back to the comfortable places. You should be old enough and wise enough to understand that vulnerability is where the growth is at. Discomfort is where the growth is at. And if we are pioneers according to the sign and energy and algorithm of Aries, it is for us to stay in uncomfortable positions, vulnerable positions, to be sure that we are maximizing our growth and potential according to the purpose that we have a sharp focus on by now, according to the blessings of having lived through so many different pains. Do not betray your wisdom. Find your courage. This is a time ahead of us where we will speak and act against the molds, the chains, and the conformities. We will speak and we will act against the chains and the molds of conformity. Conformity with socially engineered agreements, conditioning. And this is by principalities in high places. And those earthly representation through the Jewish, and the most useful tool of the Jewish, the African American female. This does not mean to look at African American females as enemies, but is to be aware of the fact that they are not aware of what has control over their consciousness and what has control over their thought process and behavior. They are not aware, most of them. So you have to have caution and you have to use discretion in how you deal with them for that reason. These two groups that I mentioned, they are the most protected by those heavenly forces of the principalities. And principalities rule over the archangels and giving them the assignments, and archangels over angels and those of the spirits of form, known as Orishas. So what is behind them? It has its manifestation in the physical realm through the leverage and political power that they have in infrastructure of the system, politics, influence, and so on. To speak or act in a way that exposes this, that acknowledges it or says it out loud, will have you to be deemed crazy, insane. Who hurt you? Your own mama is black. So on and so forth. That just sounds ridiculous. So on and so forth. The devil is taking his mask off. He's no longer hiding. Neptune is in Aries. This is the undressing of Satan. A holy war is kindling. And decisiveness is imperative. You have to know who you're dealing with. You have to know who's around you, where they're coming from, and what associations of consciousness they have and behaviors. Know them by their behaviors. Know them by their ways. And just because a person is subject to such spells or witchcraft, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It simply means that they haven't had their breakthrough to where they come to consciousness and realization of what they are subject to. Understand, this detail I have to emphasize. The situation ahead is just like, for example, in the days of slavery. One of the slaves may say, hey, I'm going to break free out of here and I'm going to run north. And that would make the other slaves very scared. They would get nervous. They would get afraid. Because why would you mess up what we got going on with Massa? Massa gives us the leftover food. Massa gives us clothes and work. Massa gives us this shelter that, that we get to have. Massa takes good care of us. Of course you would say that because you've never known freedom. You grew into that. You were born into that. So you wouldn't know the difference. You wouldn't know that it's probably not right that your mother or your sister gets raped or sold off into slavery. You have a baby and it gets sold off into slavery. You wouldn't know the difference because you grew up into that infrastructure. So when a slave says, hey, I'm going to run north and get out of here, the other slaves who are afraid, they will start speaking against that slave. They will work against that person. They will become an enemy. Why do you think Harriet Tubman carried a gun? It was for scary niggas like that. And this same mentality comes out of people when you start speaking the truth, teaching and bringing light to the real realities at hand. It makes them nervous. They can't handle it. They can't take it. They get terrified inside of themselves and they just want it to stop. This is what's ahead. And if you ain't built for that, just fall in line. No problem. Join the sheep. But for those of us, such as myself, who got the nerve and the balls to walk forward in the authentic spirit, so be it. And let the chips fall where they may. A holy war is ahead. And it's about rather you side with the light or you side with the dark. Rather you are with God or rather you are with the devil. And this is the real truth. Look for whoever the people are calling crazy. Look for whoever the people are speaking against in public opinion, in the culture, in the comment sections. These are the people who got it right. These are the people who are really chosen. The crazy ones, the weird ones, the backwards ones, the lost ones, are those who join hands in unison in public opinion, in popular opinion, singing the song of social conditioning, singing the song of social engineering. Whoever they call crazy, that's the one who got it right.
So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you. Come on. Back away.